We live.
Really?
Wait.
I'm sorry.
Okay. We are live on YouTube. Okay. We are live on YouTube. So I hear the feedback on YouTube. All right, cool. You guys good? Hi.
Okay.
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome, Mr. and Mrs. Glover, to Anya's Heart Live. We are going to celebrate today your 10-year anniversary. And I have a series of questions here to get us started. First, let us know your full name and your age.
Ladies first.
Absolutely.
So my name is Renee Glover, and I am 40 years old.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not 40. Oh my gosh. Sorry.
What? You're not?
40. In my head, I'm still 40. And I don't care. Yes, but I'm 42.
Okay, 42. Yes, ma'am.
So I looked at you like, are you sure? I'm Ben Glover. I'm 42 this year, but I look 32.
I
I
would
like
say,
that.
yep. You still got your braids?
Yeah, I gotta get my hair did, so I threw on a hat.
Okay, and where you chiming in from?
We are actually located right now in Ontario, Canada, Toronto, as everyone knows, but we're actually closer to like we're Niagara.
Okay, nice. And how did you guys meet?
Spontaneously, I guess. It wasn't nothing planned. Ren Ren was out with her friend, partying, what young ladies like to do. And I was with a friend. We were just out and about downtown, and friend's friend is, I guess, the friend of my friends. So we went to meet
And
them, and yeah, that's how me and Ren met. But Ren has a different story how we met, though.
I do. I mean, it's similar, but I would say that so I came back from the US. I used to live in the US and went to school in the US, and I took a break, or I think it was like a summer break, and I came back to Toronto, and I had just broken up with an ex, and I was just like done with men. Just having so my girlfriend's like, oh, let's go out to this party. Everybody knows in Toronto when dance did nice. Everybody knows, right? So she dragged me to there, and we went, and I tried to have a good time, but again, I wasn't in the vibe of it. And then we left on our way home. Then she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna stop and see a friend," and I'm like, "Which friend? Friend? Are you sure?" Meanwhile, so it was a guy that she was obviously talking to. And so in seeing the friend, we stopped off. I guess he was downtown at first, but then we decided to meet him where they lived in Brampton. And so we went up there and met up with them there. And I was just like, I want to go home. I was tired. I was over it. It was like 2 in the morning. I'm just like, I want to go home. Forget it. Like, I'll stay in the car. You go see him and I'll stay in the car. And so she went out and she left and she went in the car. She went and she met with the guy. And then I'm there just chilling in the car, like falling asleep, kind of like just over it. And then I look to my left and there's somebody at my door. And then I wind down the window. I'm like, oh, God, who's this loser? Like, what is he like? Who is this guy? And he comes and he's like, you're not gonna come inside. And I'm looking up because he's like so tall. I don't look. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I'll come inside.
Got your
and that
attention.
and that's how we met.
Yeah.
Okay, different scenarios. Nice to hear from both of you guys how you guys met. That's awesome. We have a comment in the chat says R and B. I love that. And then, all right. And then how long have you been married?
We just passed our 10-year wedding anniversary.
Okay, and you guys dated before you got married. How long did you date?
20 years. So altogether, it's 20 years, right? I met Ben in 2005. And so we were friends, friends, right? He'd come visit me in the US, take the Greyhound, and come visit me in the US, like many a times. We just had a really good friendship for a very long time. And we were kind of like also kind of figuring out like what we wanted out of it, right? Like, were we friends or was that just going to be it? I was dating someone else, so it was just kind of like we were figuring things out during that time. And towards the end of it, I was with her. I was in a relationship, and I kind of like broke off, and I was just like done with the relationship because it wasn't going anywhere. And I just broke off with the person, and then after that, Ben was just like. At that again, we were still friends, right? So, and still kind of like dating each other. And so he, you know, which was I think was the best situation scenario. We were friends, but we were dating and still kind of like getting to know each other
Yeah.
and seeing each other. And he was just like, "Why don't you come back to Toronto?" And I was like, "Yeah, why
Oh.
not?" So that was in 2010, and ever since then, never left him. Him and I have been together since then, like locked down, since then. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get into the more details, okay? Um, so we talked about how you first met. Now, what season is your marriage in currently? What would you say? Yeah, what season would you call this 10-year be married?
That's a good question. What would we call this year or 10
Like
years?
this season that we're in now,
Right.
that we've passed 10 years.
Oh man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Rebuild.
Huh?
I don't know. It's a lot of things we could call this season. To be honest, me personally, I call it like a rebuild season. Like we went through ups and downs, figuring things out. And for the most part, I think we're starting to really figure things out. And now we're really building what, I don't know, I guess I envisioned for us back then type of thing.
Mhm.
So we're still in our building season, right?
Yeah, I would say I would agree and then like segue a little bit and I would say yeah, we're still building. Like obviously 10 years is a crack in the barrel to some,
Right.
right? But to others, they don't even make it. The 7-year itch is real, right? So they don't even make it to
Yeah.
7 years to 10. So I would say we're still building. And I think we have a comfort with each other. We have like a profound like friendship with each other, right? We enjoy spending time with each other and conversating and like just I think we're still growing and we're still building. So it's just like I said, a drop in the bucket of how many more years we intend to do this.
Right.
Okay. And Ben, you mentioned being envisioning the partnership that you have right now. What is that vision for you?
Uh, I mean, we're still working on it, but like Ren said, we're the comfortability with each other, the trust, the future goals and whatnot, you know, family. We have a little girl that we plan for and stuff. So yeah, we're still working on it, but just comfort and knowing that we trust each other and we're always gonna make the right decisions.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I can't give you everything.
Ah, come on now. You know I'm trying to itch get all the details.
And as Ben was talking, I thought about something too, and I think it's so surreal for this season. I think it's more so it's part of the building piece, right? It's our own personal development.
Right.
Like, I think that's huge for our season right now. I think we've grown together as friends, we've grown together as husband and wife, and we'll continue to grow together as husband and wife. But I think more so than anything now, it's ensuring that we don't lose our individual selves and supporting each other in our individual goals and dreams, right? Ben has a vending machine business, and I've helped him like build that, to where it's at right now, and supported him and continue to support him in that, and taking risk, financial risks, all the other kinds of risk, in doing so, but supporting him in his dreams and like what he wants to do. And now it's my time to do, and he's supporting me in my endeavors, and we'll talk about that later.
Okay, okay, girl.
No,
Now
but she is right though. That is what I envision, like I do want Ren to have her own individualities, do her own stuff and what motivates her and what pushes her, right? So that's it. I think we're starting to figure that out now and just working on that really.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, that is what I feel is the backbone to a marriage. Some people say, oh no, you have to have your finances, or you have to be committed, or you have to be trust. I feel like, yeah, those are all part of the building blocks. But once you can work on yourself, be the best
Mm-hmm.
self, that's how you're gonna be able to show up, right? In
Yeah.
this unit called marriage. And
And
you know,
that's
go ahead.
no, sorry. No, I was gonna say that's nothing we started off with, right? That's something you learn, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
and like you said, that does help, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we're not always at each other's necks and whatnot. We have
Yeah.
our own things that we're
Mm-hmm.
focused
I'm
on.
passionate about.
All right.
Yeah, it's like you can't pour from an empty cup, right? You need to be whole with yourself. And some people have trauma, things that you come into a marriage with, things that you're still working on. And I am still working on some things with myself. I'm sure Ben's working on some things with himself individually. We're still working on things past trauma stuff, but you continue to do the work, right? So that you're not pouring and that we're not coming at each other like, like we're enemies, like we're in this together because we started off as with a basic foundation of friendship, right?
Mhm,
So yeah.
Awesome. I was gonna veer off and talk about this platform that we're building is for newbies, like newbie couples or couples who are at their wits' end with their relationship and they
Hmm.
need support to kind of push through it, to understand that we all go through it, right? You're going through hard times. How are you able to overcome some of those hard times? We'll get to those questions. But I just want to encourage anyone that's watching, like learn. Yes, Ben, you mentioned that um you don't know these things when you get married, right? But I think it's important for us to educate ourselves and
Hmm.
understand the commitment that it takes to be in a long-term committed marriage
Yeah.
relationship. Like,
Relationship. Yep.
all right.
Absolutely.
So how do you both show up for each other? Give us some nitty-gritty.
For me, I would say I show up for Ben by just doing the starting off with the basics, right? Like I show up for him. I know he's a man after his stomach. He loves, like most men, they love to eat. And for me, it's making sure that he has a warm, like food, like he has a warm meal when he comes home after working. He works with his hands. He works in construction, making people's nice homes and all that, or buildings, or whatever. So I make sure that after a hard day's work, he comes home and he has some food to eat. And whether he has to warm it up, I mean, I may not go as far as have it hot on the plate waiting for him, but it's in the fridge and he can warm it up. And so there's food, making sure that his child is taken care of as well, which is our child, making sure she's taken care of as well. Meeting each other, like having conversations, throughout the day, checking in with him, just making him something to smile, even starting off something small in the morning. Every morning we call him, Claire and we say good morning, daddy, or she says good morning, poopy head is what she calls him, and they have that banter with each other. And so every morning we call him and we just make him know that what he's doing is not in vain, and
Mm,
we appreciate, he works about an hour and 15 away from home. It's not, and he's coming home every night. It's not all the time he comes. Like, it's a hard drive, I should say. Uh, leaving at 4 in the morning, right, to get to work for 6, and we appreciate that the sacrifice that he makes for us.
yeah.
And so we just want to let him know, like, he's not doing it in vain. And so we check in with him. We can put a smile on his face in the morning. while he's bantering with his coworkers and talking about a whole bunch of foolishness. But we make sure to keep his focus. Right. And so those little things that I ensure that I do with Ben. And of course, most men, you got to make sure they're good in that department too.
Yes,
Okay. You
Ben.
gotta be like, listen, and trust me, there's times you're tired. Like you're tired. You're like, oh, I got this. I have a business now, so it's like so many other things that you have to do as a woman, as a wife. You have
Yeah.
so many things that you have to do, but you have to make the time in that department. It's huge for them, and it just
For
shows
you
too.
too, girl. For you too.
Well, yes, because we got to release too. Correct. You're absolutely right. But I think more so for them, I feel like it's hugely important for men. So I just make sure I make a point, and even though I'm tired, or even though I'm thinking, oh, I have this to do, I have that to do, take a break. And it relates even with our daughter too. Like, not just, because you have so many things to do, but sometimes she just wants you to sit with her and like read a book or
Mm,
sit with her and like watch her show or go for a walk with her. Like the simple things. So
mm.
yeah.
Okay. Ben, you
Yeah,
got in the good life.
I know, I know. No, I appreciate, and she's right too. Everything she does, I appreciate. It does put a smile on my face and whatnot.
Yeah.
Vice versa. Try to be there for her as well. When Ren has a thought or something she has to mull over, she always calls me. So I make sure always have an ear for her and give her my honest opinion and whatnot. Um, Try to be honest with her, try to hold her accountable for things. But just doing my part, whether it's same thing, whether it's cooking, cleaning, stuff that she can't do. The other day she had a lot on her plate and I asked her, what do you want me to do?
Hmm.
And she told me what she needed me to do for her so she can do what she has to do, and yeah, we keep it rolling that way.
Yeah. Yeah. So checking in, understanding when your partner is stressed out. I love
Hmm.
Absolutely.
All
Reading
right.
the room. Reading the room.
Read in the room. Read it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're gonna play a game and it's
Ooh.
called Who's More Likely to? We're gonna take a little break from being all serious. Let's have some
Okay.
fun. So who is more likely to fall asleep first during movie night? Oh,
100%.
girl.
Especially at night. At nighttime, nah.
Yeah,
Especially if it's a movie I want to watch.
Oh, nah.
She's
yeah.
all cold.
Because he's all
Yo,
about the fight, the gun.
No, no.
He's about those kind of action
No.
movies. I'm like, I'm out.
I like drama. I like tear jerkers. But she falls asleep so fast that she can't even drop a tear.
Ah,
so maybe you need to start the movie earlier,
yes.
Yeah.
right? And how does that make you feel then?
Uh, to be honest, I just continue watching the movie and I tell her about it the next day.
Okay.
Oh, and the best part is when I'm done watching the movie, I'll turn off all the lights and stuff and come upstairs.
Yeah,
Just leave it.
I leave her down there.
Absolutely.
How does that make you feel, Renee?
So bad. But when I'm watching my movies, look, he'll rock sometimes. It depends. It depends on the movies. But I try to pick things that we both mutually like. Whereas he always goes for like
Oh.
he always goes for like the action stuff. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So who's more likely to start an argument and then pretend nothing happened 10 minutes later? Ooh. Oh, wow. Okay. So you start the argument, like you're frustrated, instead of you like talking it through, express
Yeah.
yourself, you just go to 100.
I
Well,
Go
her,
ahead.
her anger is mostly misplaced, right? So if she's upset at something, and we haven't done anything, I could tell like she's upset at something. But you
Mm,
could,
Yeah. I mean, I would say I would agree to some degree. I would feel like I'm Pisces. If not that astrology matters, but
I'm a Scorpio, if that.
Oh,
If that
okay.
ever matters.
Oh, it does. It does. That matters. But
Yeah.
anyway, so I bottle things. Like I try to find a peace. I grew up that way. My parents are both still married, 40 from 42, they're 44 years of marriage. And so I just try to I grew up that way, peace. And so I don't really, which is good in some regard because I didn't see a lot of arguments with my parents, but it's bad in some regards because I didn't see how they work through things.
Mm.
And so um, you know, and now in our marriage, I'm like, okay, I bottle it, and then eventually that pop, like he's shaking a
Wow.
can, pow, and it just explodes, and he's just like he's, and then I just walk away and I calm, and then I calm myself down, and then I'm like, hey babe, and then he's like, what? Like you just went off on me like 5 minutes ago, and now you're like. A little bit. It's the Pisces. Don't. It's not bipolar. It's just a little bit of Pisces. Okay, that's all it is. Okay, but so yeah, so that's something I didn't see with my parents, and I make it a point now for Claire to see us and know that arguments happen, and she sees it, and then we talk through it, and she sees that too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
our daughter's Claire, by the way. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice. All right. And that's how you're okay with how that is, Ben, or you prefer she just didn't bottle it up to begin with?
Oh, I mean, of course not, but that's all work in progress, right? Like that's all part of the, rebuilding and getting to figure yourself out and stuff, but it is
Yeah.
what it is. I don't know.
Okay, rebuilding phase. We then, you know what? We're gonna have to check in when you're in another phase in the marriage.
Right, right, right. You go through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
rebuild, you fine tune, you
Yes.
screwdrive what needs, and then
That's it. Tighten up what needs to be tightened up.
that's it. Tighten it up.
Yeah.
love that. I love that. Okay, so who's more likely to plan a surprise romantic getaway?
Hmm.
Both of it.
Both, really. we're both we're both good at it. We're
Ren would
both
be more like inclined to like go overboard with it. But yeah, I would we both would do something like that.
yeah, we both do it for each other, to be honest. Like we know our love language and like um we know what we like in each other and what we like, little things that we appreciate. And so we do those things. We've always done that actually. We've always from day one, we've always kind of like to go do getaways and just have time with each other and then come back and like grind. So we've always like enjoyed that. Yeah.
Okay, nice. I see you're showing off your company shirt. Show it off, girl. Tell us a little bit.
Okay. Sorry. Oh, can you see
Girl.
pop? There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I started Love to Globe. It's my travel. I'm a travel agent. I'm a travel, connoisseur, and
As well.
so
As well.
yeah. Well, connoisseur is the create
No,
like.
I mean, you
Actually,
do more than just a travel agent.
oh well, yes, that
Yeah.
is correct. That is not my primary
That's your
career.
part, yeah,
But
part-time.
that is my business and my long-term goal. And so yeah, I was doing it all the time for friends and for family members for free. And
Mm,
I just saw what motivated me was my mom. My mom is 60 in her 60s now, late 60s. And I just see her struggling that pull, that tuggle, with retirement. And I
mm,
think it's just because she doesn't know like what that next phase of her life will look like, and like what she's going to do. And she doesn't want to be sitting around taking care of my sister's kids. I
yeah.
love my nephews, love you guys. But I'm sure that's not like her ultimate like desire, And I just didn't want that to be me.
Mhm.
And I look so much like my mom. Everybody that knows me knows that. And I saw her and I kind of saw myself and I just didn't want that to be me. And I said I always prayed to God, and we're faith believers, and so I've always prayed and asked God, like, I want something I'm passionate about, something that just speaks to me, and people see it, they see me, and He revealed it, and so from since then. It's been a goal, and I've been working with some friends. I haven't even really fully launched yet, to be
Yeah.
honest. That launch is supposed to happen May 1st, to the public. which is around the same a year from when I actually signed up for it. So, but yeah, so I haven't launched officially, but I'm still busy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's a little nutshell.
Okay.
Thanks for asking.
I'll definitely put some information about your business in the
Yeah.
description box of this video. Okay?
And this shirt was made by my husband for my birthday this year, by the way.
Hubby, you're so in tune. I love that.
He had
Actually,
Yeah, he had like he had a tumbler. He had a mouse like a mouse pad. It's another gray shirt like this.
for
A
him,
cup. Yeah, so sweet, so sweet.
so thoughtful. Oh, we're gonna lift you up, Ben. Want to see other men be able to be inspired by you as well, okay? All right, let's do one. Who's more likely to initiate intimacy after an argument? You always try
Well,
to be the one making up after.
she just told you that she's the one that starts the argument. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like it's a nice at the end, like just
After you
okay.
cause the argument, you're like, oh, I gotta go make up.
I gotta figure it out. We can't go to bed angry at each other, right? We gotta, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I know I said that was one more. I'll do one more.
Okay.
Who's more likely to say I love you randomly throughout the day?
mm, Both.
Both.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe more Ren. There's times I forget and I'll say it here and there, but Ren and Claire normally.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Definitely us, the girls. The girls. Yeah. We like to say it to each other. We like to say it to daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely the girls.
Okay, cool. Now, thank you for playing.
No
Uh,
problem.
Who
what?
won?
Who
Who
won?
won? Yeah.
Well, you know what? There was a lot on Renee's side, so I'm gonna say she ate that.
No
Okay,
problem.
here we go. A deep dive now. What has been your biggest challenge? Your biggest challenge as a couple, and how did you overcome it or working through it?
No, definitely working through it. Maybe communication.
Mhm.
You know, yeah, it's communication, accountability, uh,
Mhm. Mhm.
just working things out, like listening to each other. I think we're getting better at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Like you most people they in your mind you're like thinking though, especially when it comes to your husband and you're pissed off, your husband's like you're thinking the most like vile things in your mind, right? But you don't, I'm sure vice versa, maybe, I don't know, right? But you don't want to say those things because you can't take those words back. So that's where the bottling up comes with me, right? Like there's things I can go there, I can go there. I'm Trini, I have a little bit of pepper sauce in me, so I could go there. But I say, like, how would God want me to respond? Like, is that like something that exudes love, right? And when I say that, can I take it back? And those things, those words lives in your head rent free. The things that he says to me, the things that I may say to him, lives in my head. And so you don't want to say things that you could never take back, because at the end of the day, this is supposed to be your safe spot, your safe space, your person, your peace. And so you want to make sure that you're always, even though you may be upset and you're not that's not gonna be perfect, you can communicate those feelings and kind of work through, here's how I feel and here's how and you made me feel, and when you said that, or vice versa, and just work through it. But he's right, like absolutely communication is something that Ben and I we're just silent people. I'm the loud one in the group. Clearly, you guys can see that. But typically, like when it comes to expressing, again, because of what I saw with my parents, it was hard to communicate those hard conversations. So we would just kind of go mute,
Yeah.
like we just kind of like quiet and do our own thing, and which was not, it was good in one sense because you weren't like some other couples, like they go at it, like they're like slamming doors and like punching each other, whereas we don't do that. but it's not good because it's not healthy. Like we have to communicate those feelings, right? So I think we're at that season now, last couple of years where we have been able to sit down and like, or I'll pull him to the side and I'll like say, yeah, this is how I felt. And this is, you know what I mean? And he'll say his point and we'll kind of like harsh it out and then like agree to disagree at for some things. And or he'll say, I see your point, or I'll say, I understand your point. And we hug it out and then we just move on.
Mhm. What do you think caused the communication to be weakened?
I mean, for one, we're male and female, right? So we're obviously gonna have different opinions and different thoughts and whatnot. I think that's all it is. We're just in every relationship, really, right? You're bumping heads trying to figure out the same thing out,
Yeah.
right? So, and it might take 7 to 10 years, right? You figure your partner out, and then that's why I say rebuilding, because now we're at the point where, like, all right, we've gone through all the crap. Let's, like you said, tighten it up and finish this race now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. And I think also ultimately, like what weakens too is like the communication is again not communicating. Like that's what weakens the communication. Well, you're not truly being authentic to how you feel,
Yeah.
right? And we all have to go out and put on that face when we go out there to
Mhm.
work to see, sometimes even with friends, let's be honest, right? Like you're putting on that face, but and sometimes it's like you keep that mask is still on when you're home, and it shouldn't be that way. It should be you be able to take that mask off and be authentic to your partner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really what it is. Like being honest, right?
Yeah.
Like like I've lost friends and people because I was too honest with them, right? But why wouldn't you want someone to be honest with you? Like that's the world we live in. Like
Mm-hmm.
no one's honest with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like if
Yeah.
Ren does something, if I'm not honest with Ren or tell her she it was wrong, she's gonna keep doing it. Right? That doesn't grow Ren, that doesn't grow me, like us. Right? So just being honest
Yeah.
and man.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
what I love about a committed long-term relationship, marriage, right? Because when you're with the right person, you're supposed to feel stretched. They're like a mirror, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're helping you polish that mirror of who you are, how you show up. They see everything. They see the good, the bad, the strong, the weak. And so, yeah, it does get to a place where it's like, oh, I'm so frustrated. I don't want you to see who I am all the time, right? And then you're either uncomfortable with yourself or you want to shut down, not be a mom today, not be a wife today, whatever the case may be, not be a husband today, right? You just want to chill, and then it causes friction. So I definitely feel like what you guys both hit on is the fact that you are seeing all aspects of each other, right? And then sometimes it just becomes overwhelming when somebody else is trying to push you to be better or shift who you are, that bad side, like work, improve on this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
be
because they want that best. That person, your partner,
yeah.
wants the best, wants to see you in the best side, and they know they have the potential. Just like many years ago when I met Ben, like the years ago when I met him, I met Ben when he was at he was in a friend's house, sleeping on an air mattress.
Mhm.
And you know this story, Anya, and I met him then, but him and I have had those deep moments and those deep conversations and like cried through things together and like talked through things together. And like I always saw it in him back then. I saw that he wanted more for his life and wanted more for himself. And I just knew, like, coupled together, that we could achieve a lot.
So there's always this argument, especially women who are older, don't marry potential, marry the person who they are. How do you feel about that? I want to hear from the male perspective as well. Would you this like if somebody who's unmarried says that to you, like, oh, I'm not gonna marry for potential, what would be your advice to that individual?
That's a good question. Again, this is a younger Renee. This is a younger Renee that back then how many years ago? What, 20 years ago, really? Yeah, 20 years ago. So Renee was 22, 21, 22. So, she thought the world, like, when you're younger, you just have a different vision of the world. So I think it depends on the season that you're in, the time, that your timeline, the time frame, like, the time of your life. I think those are all factors um, in terms of like what you're looking for. But I would never say, I would say don't be closed though. I've always been an open person to everything in life, traveling, like meeting people, experiences. My friends know that about me. Like I've always been an open book. I've never been, oh, I can only go this far. No, no, no. I've always been open, to them, sometimes to my detriment with friends, right? But I've always been open. And I think that's what has served me well in life and has served and has allowed me to be open to seeing the good in others and seeing, you know, how God would see me. I always look at it like my mom always taught me this, and how God would see me is how I should look at others. And I saw that in Ben. And I think for others who it depends on your own personal, where you're at. But I would say don't be closed. I would say, everybody has like the right person with the right can help make a mountain out of a molehill, right? So if you are partnered with the right person, you don't know how high that person can soar. Like
Mhm.
you could imagine that person at the Leons or the brick or the little warehouse around the corner. But if he sees and you're driving and together, you guys can achieve so much, and you can help motivate, right? But again, it's really up to the individual because some people want them ready made. This is the type of society we live in. Ready made. Everybody wants everybody ready made. Like you need to be successful. You need to be making 1.2. Have several houses. Everybody wants ready made.
Yeah.
But I grew up I'm from the old school, and I love that about the '80s babies. Hey y'all.
Okay.
Is that we're okay with seeing things grow.
Mm.
Planting the seed and seeing things grow. Um, but there's some that want it like that. I don't subscribe to that
Mhm.
that level, but everybody's different. So I can't to each his own. And I would say be open.
Awesome.
What about you? What are your thoughts?
Uh, for the most part, yeah, you said everything. But I don't know. You look, don't marry for potential.
Yeah.
So then, what should you marry for?
You
Mm.
want like you should be settled. You should have like
No one's perfect, like, and even then, they're still gonna find
flaws.
something,
Yeah.
right? Like you
Mhm.
have to marry for potential, but like you said, though, it's the individuality, it's the person,
Hmm.
right? I always say too, right? Things happen for a reason, so you're gonna always end up with the person you're supposed to, right?
Or not.
I mean, you work through it, right? That doesn't mean the world's the end of the world, right?
No, or not. Like if your standards are so high, then you just end up by yourself, right? I mean, and that's the sad reality of what's happening now, right? We have a lot of friends, and I know a lot of that are single, and it's just because the standard is it's like so like who's going to meet the standard? Who? Jesus can't come down and marry you. Like who's going to meet the standard? I like we're all flawed. Nobody has it all.
Right.
Nobody has it all. We're all working on each other. And I think ultimately it's that person's heart. Like you have to connect with that person's heart. The heart is where God starts. And if the heart is good and the heart is pure and the heart has love, you can start there. And
Yes.
from there, everything will grow and bloom.
Amen. Amen. And so it is.
Taking
Okay.
out church.
So this show is called Bedroom Chat with Anya. And I know I didn't talk to you about it before. So if you're uncomfortable,
Have fun. Yeah.
we I would like to encourage for us to see a bedroom tour, if you don't mind, showing us where the action is. At least
Oh,
part of it. Very nice, very neat. Okay. So,
That's the
Ben,
first thing you gotta do when you wake up. Make your bed.
yes. What about your closet? How big is your closet, Ben? How much? How much room you got?
You want to see my small little closet? Oh, okay, okay. All right, all right. How you turn this camera, man? Oh, here it is.
The chandelier.
So,
It's
so here's
beautiful.
my little closet. It's a
Oh,
mess. It's a mess in there. I don't want to open it up.
okay. It's fine.
Okay. And
Yes.
let's open Ren's closet. Oh, your
Ah!
closet. Ren's closet's pretty much open. It keeps going, but I don't want to. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It keeps going that way, but I can walk in Ren's. I can't walk in mine.
okay. It's amazing how that works. Thanks for
Oh,
the
yeah.
tool. Thanks for bedroom. Very nice and clean and airy and fresh. Lots of light. I love that. Awesome. And then we'll end off with what legacy do you want your marriage to leave behind for your family, community, and the world?
Oh man, that's a tough one.
Hmm.
I mean, that's an example. Yeah.
I'll go because I'll give you time to think.
Yes, though.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna agree with what you
No,
said.
I would say the legacy, and I don't want to get emotional. I'll try not to. Oh, my grandmother, oof, my grandmother on my mom's side, she uh she grew a lot of us actually. My cousins and all of us. And my grandmother didn't have a lot. She would be considered poor. But she always helped the neighborhood, the neighbors and their kids, and she died at 84, 85. And my grandmother's always said to us, like God is the center of everything in your life. He's the center. With him, what may seem small, maybe can create multitude. And I've seen it in my own with her. She didn't have a lot, but she had enough to share it for all of us. We always found that we had enough food. We always found that we had enough, and she was a single mother of 10 kids, and she just always had enough. And that's my grandmother's legacy for us and my mom's generation, and thereby our generation and our kids. And so for me personally, when it comes to Ben and I want that similar legacy. That even though you may not have a whole lot, you don't have to have the riches and all the world and all that in the world, but you have each other and you have love and you have true, genuine, authentic love for people and love for each other, that you can serve a multitude. you know you can affect a lot of people. Your reach is so much more bigger with love. And so I just I want that to be our legacy as well, that we the unknown was like we didn't know where this was going to go, but God had a bigger picture for us and had a bigger plan for us, and that we continue to the good times, bad times, but we stuck it out, and that our love stood the test of time and affected many. And that's where my thought is for legacy wise. Sorry, getting emotional. Yeah.
Wow. Oh man, that's a good question. Um, Very similar, just be that good example and you know, like you said, the unknown and that's a good question, Anya. I mean,
I think I Go ahead, Ben. Sorry.
well, no, I mean, it's a lot of Glovers, right? But I want us to get, continue in those footsteps of, the right Glovers, the. I don't know. That's a good question. You have to come back to me on that one.
I think ultimately praying it together, like Ben and I have done that. That's gonna be the difference. I think maybe on more so on his side, more so on our side, continuation on my side, and maybe not so much the Charles side, which is my dad's surname, but like praying things out together, praying with each other, praying as a family, like having God being the center of our like making time for, on Sundays, making time to connect in the week. Like I do Bible studies, we pray together, we get up in the morning, we pray, we have those moments and those quiet times, right? Like I think that is the center of what I saw growing up and what I continue to inject, and Ben and I continue to inject in our family here as well, that we continue to pray and show Claire the right example of what to look for in her partner as well too, right? So that passing on that legacy as well too, trusting your heart, letting God be the center, and that after that you can affect many.
Yeah. Okay.
Did I capture it right?
Absolutely.
All right, so we're gonna close out with the Dear Heart mantra. So you're gonna repeat after me.
Okay.
I'm heavy on mantras and Zen life. I'm a totally Zen life kind of guy.
I'll send this to you too if you want.
Okay, do that, please.
Incorporate that into your spirituality with your wife. Okay. So together we build a life of abundance and balance.
Together we build a life of abundance and nope, I missed it. Say it again.
Together we build a life of abundance and balance.
Yes, together we build a life of abundance and balance.
We honor each other's dreams, strengths, and goals.
We honor each other's dreams, strengths, and goals.
With open hearts and clear minds, we face our finances hand in hand.
With open minds
and open hearts.
Say it again. Say it again.
All right. With open hearts and clear minds.
With open hearts and clear minds.
We face our finances hand in hand.
We face our finances hand in hand.
In unity, we create stability and joy.
In unity, we create stability and joy.
Nurturing a prosperous future together.
Nurturing a prosperous future together.
May this journey strengthen our love and deepen our partnership.
May this journey strengthen our love and deepen the partnership.
And congratulations to 10 years and another 10 to go. Okay, babe?
Another 20, 30, 40. Keep going, girl.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Subscribe for watching.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Peace.